West Africa or Western Africa is the westmost region of Africa. The United Nations defines West Africa as the 19 countries of Berlin, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, The Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo, as well as Saint Helena, Ascension, and Tristan da Cunha, United Kingdom Overseas Territory. Early history in West Africa included a number of prominent regional powers that dominated different parts of both the coast and internal trade networks, such as the Mali and Gao empires. West Africa set the intersection of trade routes between Arab domination North Africa and specialist goods from further south on the continent, including gold, advanced ironworking, and products like ivory. After European exploration accorded a rich local economy and kingdoms, the European slave trade exploited previous slave system to provide labor for colonies in the Americas. After the end of the slave trade in the early 19th century, Europeans, especially France and Britain, continued to exploit the region to colonial relationships, exporting a number of extractive goods, including labor-intensive agricultural crops like cocoa and coffee, forestry products like tropical timber, and mineral like gold. Since independence, many of West African countries like Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, and Senegal play important roles in the regional and global economy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah Razita, and today I will be explaining about the scope of Western Africa. West Africa, or the region of the Western African continent, comprising the countries of Benin, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Cabo Verde, Chad, Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea, the Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo. Western Africa is a term used to designate a geographic region. Western Africa is a term used to designate a geographic region within the continent of Africa. The term West Africa is also often used to refer to this part of the continent. As conventionally understood, however, West Africa is primarily a political and economic designation and comprises all the areas considered here except Cameroon, Chad, Equatorial Guinea, and the Sahara parts of Mali, Mauritania, and Niger. The region may be divided into several broad physiographic regions. The northern portion of Western Africa is composed of a broad band of semi-arid terrain called the Western Sudan, stretching from the Atlantic Ocean on the west to the area of Lake Chad on the east, a distance of about 2,500 miles or about 4,000 kilometers. It is largely a plateau of modest elevation and borders the Sahara Desert on the north and the Guinea Coast Forest on the south. Rainfall in this region ranges from less than 10 inches in its arid northern, reaches to about 50 inches in the south. The flora of the western Sudan consists of the scrub vegetation of the transitional zone known as the Sahel in the north and a mix of tall trees and equatorial forest, which flourish along the Atlantic coast and extend inland for about 100 to 150 miles. The people of the region belong for the most part to one of the three major language families. In the northern and least populous Saharan regions, Arabs and Imazigan of the Afro-Asiatic language family predominate. South of the line connecting to the course of the Senegal River, the Niger River, and the southern two-thirds of around Lake Chad, Nilo-Saharan languages related to those peoples further East predominate. These peoples are divided into a very complex ethnic mosaic but may often be conveniently classified by their individual languages.
My name is Raja Pratama. I want to talk about the President of Senegal. Macky Sall is President of Senegal. Macky Sall was born in 11 December 1961. He is a Senegalese politician who has been President of Senegal since April 2012. He was re-elected President in the first round voting in February 2019. Under President Abdoulaye Wade, Sall was Prime Minister of Senegal from July 2004 to June 2007 and President of the National Assembly from June 2007 to 2008. He was the mayor of Frederick from 2002 to 2008 and held that post again from 2009 to 2012. Sall was a long-time member of the Senegalese Democratic Party or PDS. The President of Republic of Senegal was awarded the prestigious Africa Oil Man of the Year award during the Africa Oil and Power or AOP conference. President Sall will receive the award and President Sall will also present his keynote speech at the conference. AOP honors President Sall dedicates long campaign to increase the transparency, create an active investment environment, and generate new growth, so that Senegal is currently a global hotspot from the part of Africa that is famous for producing oil and gas.
Hello everybody, my name is Reverend Yusuf. I am one of the group member of the Group 5 of Regionalism Group. We are already heard about the scope, the history, and the actors of the West Africa. And for the next, I'm going to tell you about the newest issues or the current issues on the West Africa. Well, Africa is the largest continent in the world. The world knows the African continent uh, as a country that is still prone to conflict and experiences the many difficulties in terms of the economy, the infrastructure, and even the regional security. This causes many stereotypes of people to think that the African continent is a difficult place to live and has the many problems that occur. There are several problems that have recently occurred on the West African continent, one of which is the resistance of African people to the black discriminations and the practice of apartheid, which is used as the integrations of regionalism in the African region and the socio-cultural dimension. Not to mention that the problems in the Nigeria on November 5, 2021, the Nigerian border was raided by an extremist which left around 69 people were dead. The extremists on the Bani Bango border in Nigeria are often referred to as areas that prone to war conflicts. While even this incident has caused the death of the mayor of Bani Bango, the Nigerian president Mohamed Bazoum paid a visit to express his condolences, and he vowed to step up to security to end this terror in the border area. And as a result of continuous conflicts, the African society is experiencing a crisis of self-identity where ethnocentrism and primordialism occur. The government seems unable to carry out its function to regulate the country, and it was a pretty unfortunate thing to see. This also has led to corruption, economic disparity, state bankruptcy, and new security threats in the form of interest group that the majority of the population is poor, hungry, malnourished, with low levels of education and health. See, this is one of the biggest or the biggest problems that it even causes the political instability and also has an impact on economic instability. If Africa wants to immediately join in the regionalism, which plays a significant role of the development of Africa itself and also the international world. African people must realize that they belong to underdeveloped countries compared to any other countries in other parts of the world. Then they must commit to change themselves, their relatives, their people, their mindset, their country, and also their continent. This commitment must be accompanied by efforts to optimize all the potential of the African continent and the access to education. What is happening in Africa is a cycle of poverty. Many conflicts occur because they cannot live on a full stomach and have the potential to contract disease, limited jobs and income at the very least. We can hope that the cycle of poverty will be broken throughout the education. That is all for me. Thank you.